Hey guys, this week we are going to go back to Zentangles, and this time we're going to use our markers to create Zentangles, and we're going to use watercolor to help. So you have two options on this one, and I'm going to go over each one. For this option, I watercolored the paper first, and then drew my subject matter, and then broke up the background, and then started putting in my Zentangles. So this one is watercolor first, or you can draw first. So on this one, I drew the dinosaur, broke up the background, so I drew the lines for the background, and then I watercolored each shape, let it dry, and then I filled them in with designs. So two options. You have this one, which is draw first, or you can watercolor first, okay? All right, so we're gonna look at each one. I feel like this one you understand a little bit, so but I am gonna go over this one where you draw first. So I'm gonna do an example for you, and then I'll probably finish the video on this one and have that one up as an example. But this one, I drew this, and I actually used these pens. These ones, like, they bleed on my hands, and then if you notice, there's like little smudges and fingerprints, so they tend to smear. But you can use your markers, and then all I would do is just come on in and put some designs in with my marker. So I am going to have another video that shows you how to do some of these designs, because I know for some of you they look complicated, but in all honesty they're not. So well, they're not as complicated as one would think. All right, all right, let's go over this. All right, so for this one, I'm actually going to show you how to draw a rose in a way. So we'll make a design with that. All right. So I have a picture of a rose up on Google, and what I'll do is I start with the inside of the flower. Cool part is most roses are about the same. They all have their little differences that make them different and unique. But if you focus on each shape as you draw it, you should be fine. And then your rose is probably going to look very different from the one on Google, unless you're really, really good at drawing shapes or making like shapes look exactly like, which I still don't. And I love that, because even though my roses look different, they don't look just like Google's. Or what I find on Google when I research, they come out different, so that gives them their own personality. The reason why I'm doing this video is I've had a lot of students that have asked me how to draw a rose, and so I figure if I go ahead and do it step by step, then this will be my example for what I'm going to do for this idea for the assignment. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind with choosing a subject matter for a Zentangle is that if you choose something like a rose or a turtle or something where the image is already broken up, then that helps you because you already have it broken up. But if you choose something like, let's say, an elephant, elephants are really pretty. I think they're great. But what I'm saying is that you will have to use your creative brain to break it up and make it look interesting. So I hope that makes sense. See, I don't like the way that one does. And then once you get the middle done, after that it's just kind of like filling up places for petals. I do tend to erase a lot. I'm not perfect at drawing. I really like to make sure that my roses are pretty and they look just right. see, I forgot this petal. So then you just, if you want to keep making it bigger, you could, wherever you feel like if it's bigger on one side, or I try to use like where I'm not directly looking at it, but kind of using my peripheral vision. And I'll look away and look at it, so I'm not directly looking at it, and I'll see where it's heavier, where it's not heavier, or like, is there a space that could use another petal? Now I could keep going with the petals and I could fill up the whole page. But I don't want to right now. Right yet. I don't want to right now because I want to show you the idea for the assignment. So here's my rose. All right, now I want to break up my space. And I think I'm going to use some, I'm going to erase a couple of these because I don't like them. But I'm going to break up my space, and then I'm going to use watercolor to fill in the shapes. Okay. So again, I'm looking at it, not really looking at it, but kind of looking at it to see if I have balance. And there might be a line that kind of bothers me, or I might have out of place. This one to me is a little bit too straight, so I'm actually going to erase it. Yeah, I don't like that one. Maybe I need to take this line out. Okay, and then you can even look at it and say, I have too many lines. So you can take some lines out. Just make sure you don't have ginormous spaces. I'm going to redo this line. But mostly the point is, make sure that your space is filled in. You have your drawing done before you start painting. Make sure that you have your subject matter filled in. I want to take this line out. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it. I like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna watercolor my shapes. I'm gonna do a light watercolor on it. So if I notice this right here is a little bit too dark, I'm actually just gonna take it and spread it. I'm gonna add some water to it because I wanna make sure it's light enough that I can put designs on top of. And the reason why I gave two options is because some people do better with this type of artwork where they have control over what shape is what color. And some people do better if they do an abstract painting and draw on top of it. So some people can do this and they're fine with it, but some people cannot do this. And it's fine. It's kind of like a left brain, right brain type deal with art. And some people are better with this because they're actually able to illustrate their shape specifically to what they want. So that's why you have two options. I'm very interested to see what option you choose. So if you've been in this class this entire semester, I want you to you're actually going to go back to the very first assignment, your Zentangle, and I want you to take a picture of it. And I'm going to have a discussion post. It's going to be graded as a writing assignment. And I want you're going to post your Zentangle and your other one. So if you can put it on your collage app on your phone and post it as one image, that would be awesome. But I want to see this one and your very first Zentangle. Just because I think you're going to be happy with the results to see how much you have learned this semester. So, and the cool part is to do that, most of you should already know how to do this, but what you do is you go to your courses, go to your assignments, And you should be able to pull up like where it says week 1, week 2, I think Zentangle is week 2. Go to week 2, and you click on that assignment, and it'll say, on your phone, it'll say submissions. And you can click on what you've already, like, click on the link where you submitted, and it should pull up the picture for you to show you what you did submit. And then there'll be a writing prompt for you to kind of, to help you fill in like what I'm asking for in the discussion. For me, I'm letting these colors bleed because I like it. You don't have to. You can focus and let each one dry like I did in this one. Okay, that's up to you. This one I just wanted to be a little bit more flowing. All right, I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna work on the rows, and I'll have a video for you that shows you me finishing the rows and me adding Zentangles. All right, now that the background's dry, while I am painting the rose, I'm going to talk to you about what's expected of your grade with this. The biggest thing is balance. Again, with Zentangles, you want to focus on lines, shapes, and shading. Lines, designs, and shading. So in some areas where it's thicker versus areas where it's thin, is there balance in your designs? Do you have variety? So some curved, some straight. Is there a rotation? You cannot repeat the same design right next to each other, so you want to mix it up, okay? So like on this one, I may need to go back on this and fill this in or do something with it because there's too much light. Here, let me go ahead and do it. There's too much light based on what the rest of it sees with the background. So let me go ahead and outline real quick. Which actually worked out because my marker was running dry. If you find, and this one bleeds too, so it's really up to you if you want to use a marker. I do recommend that you put a piece of paper under your hand to help prevent smudging, or if you watch the video, I kept my fingers on the edge of the paper so you didn't see it like go into the middle and spread everywhere. So you want to try to do something like that, you can. But it's up to you if you want to use a ballpoint pen, if you want to use marker. This shows you, or you can even just stick with a pencil as long as you have it light enough, because if I were to take this pencil and go on top of where it's dark, it's different versus where it's light. Okay, so I think that helps it. Yeah. All right, I think that makes it a little bit better. And then I could even come in and shade in the smallest shapes. And then, so basically the point of adding designs in, when you add a design, look at how you can add in more designs within that design. Okay, so again, you really need to make sure that you're focusing on shapes, shading, designs. Okay, lines, shapes, and shading. It's gonna be part of your grade on this. And I really, really want to see the creativity come out because I know you guys have learned so much and you guys have done so good. So I believe in you. All right, so on this, I'm actually, when you talk about showing values on a rose, you want to start with the inside of each petal. And I'm actually going to do the drag and pull method. Wherever I feel like it should be the darkest, that's where I'm going to go ahead and lay down this pigment. And then I'm going to rinse it, put a little bit of water on my brush. And then I want to take, so this should be dark right here. And then I want to lighten it up. All right, so I'm gonna come right here, rinse my brush, add a little bit of water. And then I may have to go back over a couple things if I want to. But again, I want to keep it light because I'm going to put Zentangles on it. And I figure I'd go ahead and include the idea of if you're going to show values on a rose, you need to yada, yada, yada. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this, and then you're going to see where it's going to go a little bit faster where I'm painting and showing and adding designs.